Alright, I think I'm live. Cool. Cool. Alright, now that I'm live. Alright. Welcome back. It's another week of, chilling with paper talking about something random. And also, once again, I don't know what it is, but I'm weirdly, whatever I talk about has some kind of news related happen to it? Question mark? Don't know if this is a good power I have or not. Cause I talked about Survivor, and then the following week we got a Survivor Switch game, and then last week I talked about King of the Hill on the podcast, and then sad to say, this week, the voice actor for Dale Gribble passed away, which was really sad. Johnny Hardwick passed away, and it was kind of sad. And he was slated to be in the revival or continuation or whatever you want to call it, a King of the Hill. So rip to Johnny Hardwick. He really was like he really did bring Dale Gribble to life with this voice acting. He will be missed. Honestly, Dale had some of the best jokes of the show. So that was just kind of a sad event, but kind of weird that I talked about it last week in the podcast, and then he just happened to, just some kind of event happened to King of the Hill this week. But what are you gonna do? It's just sad. So rip. He will be missed. So that happened this week. So that was very sad. Honestly, like yeah. Moving on from that sad event to continuing on with another topic. The Pokemon Presents was this week on Tuesday, and it showed nothing. Literally nothing. People are upset that it showed nothing, and I kind of wish they would have just not done an event, but also I'm glad to know that Game Freak isn't working themselves to death to pump out just unfinished projects all the time. So that's nice. That's like the one takeaway from the Pokemon Presents, is at least Game Freak themselves isn't doing anything. Instead, they're letting their employees actually take their time with the next Pokemon game. Hopefully. Hopefully, that is. But literally nothing new was announced at that Pokemon Presents. Everything was stuff we already knew. Like, there was nothing new announced at it. Just more details on stuff that was already announced. Also, this week we had the Nintendo sales numbers pop up. Which I believe they were... What were they? It was, what was it called again? I posted this earlier on Twitter. And yes, I'm still calling it Twitter. F that. But go follow me on Twitter at Yoshi_paper. But let's see here. I know I posted this just a few moments ago. Where was it? There we go. It was the CESA 2022/2023 White Book sales numbers from Nintendo. We can go ahead and look at those. If I pull up an incognito window here and then flip to web page. There we go. We go ahead and take a look at these. We can see some interesting results. We can go to the Nintendo CESA 2023 sales. Here we go. I think. Here we go. This is important. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl have sold 15 million, over 15 million units. I mean, it's Pokemon. What did you expect? Splatoon 2 has been doing really well with like over 13.5 million units sold. Mario Maker 2's doing actually phenomenally well with like over 8 million. Tropical Freeze is doing actually amazing. So that's great for Retro Studios. Clubhouse Games has sold over 1.6 million, which is actually insane. Fire Emblem Three Houses has sold 4.2, while I think Engage sold like over 1 million, while Three Houses has sold over 4.2, so that's nice. It's sad to see that Paper Mario the Origami King has sold almost 3.5 million copies, because that's depressing that we'll never see a regular Paper Mario game again. Let's see, Metroid Dread selling over 3 million copies, and that's just great to see that Metroid is finally selling well. Like, damn, did it take like way too long for Metroid to actually like sell and show Nintendo that Metroid is one of their biggest series. Congratulations on Metroid finally selling well. We don't look at ARMS. ARMS is a game that shouldn't have sold that much. It's kind of it's just kind of boring. A game that sold that many units and has a dead online is not good. That's just because it happened to be a like launch title for the Switch, and that's it. Xenoblade 2, Xenoblade Definitive Edition is way better, and the sales numbers are so close. Xenoblade Definitive Edition selling really close to well, it's actually about 1 million off, so never mind. This should have sold way more than Xenoblade 2. Xenoblade 2 just happened to sell more because it was at the launch of the Switch. Any game that was in, like, the first year of the Switch will just have sold more because the Switch was unstoppable in 2017 and 2018. So I think sales numbers are just inflated because of the fact that the Switch was, like, the biggest console ever at the time. The Switch has kind of like died down in recent years. So Pokemon Mystery Dungeon selling just under 2 million. I mean, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games just never seem to like bring in the big numbers that Pokemon games normally do. Pikmin 3 Deluxe selling really well is nice to see. Mario Golf Super Rush selling that much is a little sad because of how they handled it. Being kind of a, doing like the thing that like, oh, let's launch it with like little content as possible and add more content as the game, as time goes on. Never really liked that. Modern Camelot is kind of sad. See, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker selling a lot. Miitopia is selling a lot. Because Miitopia is funny, but it's just kind of a weird game that you just... It's just, there's not a lot to keep you interested in Miitopia, because the charm of it wears off quickly. The game is really long. Like, we're gonna talk about Miitopia for a bit here. Miitopia. Miitopia. The new Mii creator is actually really fun to mess around with. But the actual game is funny and just kind of a weird, like, acid trip at times. But if you look at how long to beat here, it's about 30 hours and about 80 hours to get 100% completion. That's a pretty, like, decent length RPG, but it's the problem of the fact that, like, the silliness is what just expects you to, like, be invested in the game. The actual main story and writing is kind of just bland, and there's not much to it. It's just... the writing itself isn't that funny. The main story isn't that all interesting to keep you invested. It just expects the just absurdity of the content to keep you invested, and that doesn't last 30 hours. Let's see here. I think I have Miitopia installed on my Switch. Let's actually check my playtime in Miitopia. We go to console games. Here we go. I'm gonna switch open. Let's go to Miitopia real quick and see what my playtime is in it. I know I have it in here somewhere digitally. There it is. Let's go ahead and open Miitopia and see my hours in it real quick. I got, I'd say, decently into the game. Oh, a letter. Okay. But, like, do I have, like, a save file that just tells me? Oh, there you go. I think I can check this, or otherwise I'll say just started or something. Yep. Yeah. My Switch, I have the Switch OLED, so a lot of my playtime got reset on that. So, that sucks. If I go to, like, just save and quit, can I just, like, see my playtime? Nope, I don't get to see my playtime. So, that's fun. I got to the, like, forest area, which I don't know what world that is, but, I played it quite a bit. There's just... It's supposed to be the absurd factor of it. That's what, like, kept you into it. But, yeah, it just doesn't last the entire game. It just wears off rather quickly, and the main gameplay of the combat just doesn't keep you involved long enough. So, definitely, like, Miitopia, I think, it's a funny game, but probably not worth the money to grab it. Because, like, it's just not worth it. Just because, personally, because there's just not much to keep you entertained after the, like, silly aspect of it wears off. But yeah, let's go back to this list here. We got Mario Kart, Live Home Circuit. Good lord, that sold almost 2 million copies. Bayonetta 1 and 2. Selling quite a lot. Game Builder Garage selling a lot. SMT5 selling a lot. I think that's it, right? I think that's all of, like, the reports I was able to get. Domestic. Here we go. This is a more comprehensive list here, because this is the actual CESA report. I think if we go to this one. think this is just saying it's been posted. Alright, let's see here. Animal Crossing New Horizons has reached over 10 million units sold, which is insane. Animal Crossing New Horizons, I did not think sold over 10 million units. Good lord. That's domestic. That's just in Japan alone. This is international. Look at this. Animal Crossing New Horizons has sold over 40 million copies worldwide. Holy shit, I didn't even know that it sold that much. It's the second best-selling Switch game. Good lord. I know my sister got, like, got the Animal Crossing Switch and everything just to play Animal Crossing, but good lord. That's ridiculous. That's actually just straight up insane. Alright. That's insane. Smash Ultimate selling over 30 million. Breath of the Wild selling 25. Mario Odyssey, Scarlet Violet, Mario Kart 7, Super Mario Party selling almost 20 million. Let's see, anything weird here? New Leaf sold 13 million on the 3DS. I didn't think it sold that much on the 3DS. Honestly, I liked New Leaf a lot more than New Horizons. Damn, Luigi's Mansion 3 sold over 10 million. Good for that. Good for next level games. Super Mario 3D World, the Switch version, sold over 10 million. Mario Party Superstars has almost reached 10 million. 3D All-Stars sold over 9 million. A lot of that was probably brought up by the fact that it was a timed exclusive. Dark Moon sold a lot. I don't think this should be in here. That's not a Nintendo game. Kirby Star Allies. Three Houses here. Mario Maker, 3DS sold a lot. Happy Home Designer sold only about 3.5 million. That's still a lot of units sold for being glorified like DLC. Origami King. Majora's Mask 3D sold a lot for being a very inferior port. Fate sold quite a lot. That doesn't belong here. Metroid Dread selling a lot. Actually, I think this conflicts with the other site we were looking at. Because I think Metroid Dread... Hasn't Metroid Dread sold, like, over... No, just the same. Okay. Xenoblade 2. Mario & Luigi Dream Team. Sticker Star selling that much is stupid. Fire Emblem Awakening selling a crap ton. That doesn't belong in here. Some of these don't belong in here. Wow, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has sold almost as much as 1. You can tell just because of the fact that Xenoblade 2 released in the year the Switch launched, it sold a lot more, because there was a lot less games on the Switch. Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask sold almost 1.5 million. Good for Professor Layton. I'm very excited for the new Professor Layton game. Can't wait for it. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Kid Icarus Uprising. We need a port of that on the Switch, please. Or still, like, tackling, like, just some of the list here. There's Miitopia. I think we're getting to the bottom of the list here. Echoes, Fire Emblem Echoes, selling about 1 million. And I think that's it. Echoes just reached over the 1 million mark. Like, because of the eShop closing, a lot of people went back and picked it up. This recently just got to the 1 million, I know that. And Echoes is a great game. Would recommend, and everyone should go back and play Echoes. Well, good luck trying to find a copy now that the 3DS eShop is closed. But if you do find it for cheap, go back and play it. It's really good. Even, like, the game has full voice acting on the 3DS. Every support is voice acted as well. Like, that's insane on the 3DS. Reminds me a lot of Kid Icarus Uprising, with Kid Icarus Uprising also being, like, fully voiced. Like, that's ridiculous on the 3DS. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting sales numbers on the Switch. So yeah. These were updated when? Like, actually, like, yeah, last week on Monday. So I mean, the news of the sales numbers have just been started going around, so it's nice. So honestly, looking at the Nintendo sales numbers, Switch is still doing really well. So good for the Switch. Even though it's definitely being underpowered and stuff, it's still selling stuff really well. So there's that. So the Switch still selling stuff really well is nice. Alright, let's see here. Alright, so there was that. Actually, let's see. There's a game that I was, recently reminded existed, and that is, you go over here, it's Toyko Mirage Sessions FE Encore. I was recently reminded of its existence. Just gonna take a look at the eShop page here. And, this game released in January of the COVID year, so that's fun. It would have been the great honestly, I do think that the timing on this game, its re-release for the Switch, could have been a little better, but because I know the PlayStation and Nintendo fans don't necessarily cross over that much, but literally just a few months down the line was the Western release of Persona 5 Royal, probably the biggest, like, JRPG release of this decade so far, of the 2020 decade. So, you know, kind of hard to have, this game be on your radar. But, honestly, I ended up playing, I beat Chapter 2 and did not start Chapter 3, because, by the time I got to Chapter 3, Persona 5 Royal came out. I bought a PS4 to play it. I got a PS4 for really cheap from a PS4 Pro really cheap off Facebook Marketplace to play Persona 5 Royal. Because some kid, like, failed, like, math or something and had to go to summer school, so his mom sold his PS4 on Facebook Marketplace. I got a PS4 out of it. The kid had to go to summer school. Kind of sad, but I got it for, like, only $200. So, I'd call that technically a win, but it's, kind of sad for the kid, but oh well. So I kind of dropped this game to play Persona 5 Royal instead, and that would end up taking me the entire year of 2020 to beat it. Literally, it took me from April, the end of April, to the beginning of April in 2021 to play through all of Persona 5 Royal. I kid you not. I don't play games necessarily the fastest. I do tend to take my time with games. I spent easily over 220 hours in Persona 5 Royal. But it took me a year to beat that game. And that was during COVID. Probably, the biggest, and most amount of free time I've had in quite a long time to beat it. So, imagine trying to, beat it, now. It's kind of difficult, because I have work and stuff that gets involved in stuff, and hanging out with friends IRL and stuff that also just makes it difficult to sit down and play a game of that length again. But, it's a good time. Persona 5 Royal is a really great game. Would highly recommend to anyone who wants to just try it, go out and just play it. It's a phenomenal game. And yeah, it's also a long game though, so be prepared to spend a lot of time. It's on Game Pass. If you have Xbox Game Pass or Game Pass for PC, just try it. It's fun. It's got one of the most engaging stories in a game I've played in a really long time. And the gameplay is fun, so go play it. But yeah, it took me almost a year to beat it. So yeah. It took me a long time to beat Persona 5 Royal. Oh. Drop my controller. But yeah. Persona 5 Royal, great game, but it did take me a year to play through it all. So, anyway, I shouldn't have gone, onto, the whole Persona 5 Royal topic. I was supposed to be talking about Toyko Mirage Sessions FE Encore, but, I kind of had to explain why I ended up dropping the game. Not because it's not the fact that I didn't enjoy it, it's more so the fact that, another JRPG made by Atlas took over my life. I've been wanting to replay. I ended up replaying Persona 5. About half of it on Steam. I didn't get through all of it because I ended up watching my girlfriend play through Persona 5 Royal all the way through. So I technically did play through it a second time without technically playing it. I watched my girlfriend play every bit of it, so it was fun. So I have played through the game pretty much twice. So fun. And that was when it got released on Xbox, because she didn't have a PlayStation. And Persona 5 Royal is the reason why I haven't played Mario & Rabbids Sparks of Hope yet, because it just so happened to release, in the same week, or even on the same day, I'm pretty sure. So, that sucks. But, now we go back to, console games. And I fucked it up, because I dropped my controller, and it booted me out. But, enough about Persona 5 Royal, and why it took me a year to beat that game. We're gonna go and talk about the game I actually wanted to talk about. Even when I'm trying to talk about it and spread, information about this game, Persona 5 just still overshadows it. I think Persona 5 will always end up overshadowing it, but whatever. So, alright. Toyko Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore is a game that has suffered through quite a lot, and a lot of people want it to be something it's not. I think I need to go over a little history of this game before I start talking about it. Toyko Mirage Sessions Sharp FE was originally released for the Wii U, which already was not a good sign for the game. It was also released kind of late in the Wii U's lifespan, if I remember correctly. Like, not too late. Like, let's switch over to web page here. I think if we go to the Wikipedia page, it originally released in 2015 on the Wii U, and in North America 2016. Now, reminder, 2016, at this point, I'm pretty sure we already had confirmation that the Nintendo's new system, the NX, would have its presentation in October. So, it was pretty late in the Wii U's lifespan, because literally in less than a year, the Nintendo Switch would launch. So, that's already great. And at that point, the Wii U was pretty much dead, because it was just like the Smash machine at that point. Literally just people would pick it up to play Smash and then throw it to the side because nothing big was coming out for it. So that was kind of sad. And then also, so yeah. And before this, it was originally announced as Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. And what we got is not Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. It is not what it all was originally like. Originally was like promised, so to speak. But yeah. So it had, and people often keep holding it to that standard to this day, is that it should be a SMT Cross Fire Emblem game, but it's not. Instead, what it is an Atlas game with it's just an Atlas-made game in the like SMT style like combat system. Like, that's basically what it is. It's not. It doesn't use anything from, like, the SMT games. It just happens to be kind of like... It just uses the combat system from SMT, but with, like, you know, how, like, every, like, game in the SMT franchise uses its own combat style. Like, you've got Persona using its combat style of, Then you've got the actual, like, SMT system. Like, I think it's called, like, the press turn system. And then you've got, like, Soul Hackers and Soul Hackers 2 also having its own combat system. Pretty much every game in the, like, SMT series kind of has its own tweak on the core combat system. So, that's nice. So, that's basically what this game is. It's basically an SMT spin-off that just so happens to have Fire Emblem characters. Like, honestly, you could remove the Fire Emblem aspects of it, and this game would probably been received a bit better. I mean, the Metacritic scores are fairly high on it. I'm pretty sure even, like, you look at the receptions, awards and accolades. It's won awards? Yeah, it's got an 80 out of 10 on Metacritic. 6th best Wii U game of the year. So name it, yeah, best, let's see. Was runner-up for IGN's Wii U Game of the Year. Let's see, GameSpot ranked it among the best Wii U games of 2016. Nintendo Life's came third in the readers' votes. Like, it was received pretty well to people that actually ended up playing it. I want to go to the shush. Like, you take into the account that, like, as much, like, reviewers and people who actually ended up playing it really did enjoy the game. Like, it was received, like, pretty well. I'm pretty sure, like, even, like, according to Metacritic scores, like, Toyko Mirage Sessions has a higher score than Fire Emblem Engage. It's Mirage Sessions Metacritic. We look at the Metacritic score for both Encore and the Wii U version, okay? Yeah, the Switch version's got an 81 and the Wii version has an 80. Yeah, user scores gave it a 6.2. I wonder why. People are mad about the censorship. I'll get to the censorship in a bit. But, like, yeah, it's got generally, like decently positive reviews, like, of both versions. Of course, the user score's, like, not as, like, bad, because, like, people are just review bombing it because of, like, the censorship, but whatever. And then, like, if you, like, search, like, Engage, like, Fire Emblem Engage. Okay, like, it's got an 80 on Metacritic. User score is rated a 6.6 because they're probably pissed. Yup. I guarantee you all these negative reviews are pissed that it's like, yep, awful writing. Yep. 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 Most of the, like, people are, like, obviously fail not. Like, people, like, of Engage are obviously pissed at, like, the fact that it's, like, not, like, 3 houses level of writing and care put into the characters, but that's besides the point. But honestly, like, the Switch version of Toyko Mirage Sessions has a higher critic score than Engage. And it's tied for the Wii U version, so, like... And I think the writing and characters are damn interesting in, Toyko Mirage Sessions. But, honestly, like... The fact is that, yeah, people are, like... So, like, yeah, it was received quite well. It just wasn't what was promised. Like, people were expecting, like, an SMT Cross Fire Emblem game, but instead, it's just, like, an SMT... It's just an SMT combat and like game that just so happens to have Fire Emblem characters in it. Unlike the Fire Emblem characters really don't do much in the game. You can remove them and nothing would be lost. Like, that just is how it is. The Fire Emblem characters are pretty much delegated to personas in this game. Like, probably, like, slightly more involved personas, because, like, they're called Mirages, and they can talk and stuff. And they have, like, a bit more personality than, like, the personas of Persona 5, or the demons of SMT, or the demons that you use in SMT, I should clarify. So, like, they at least have some, like, personality and stuff, but, like, you could just remove them and replace them with, like, the demons of SMT, or, and, like, it'd be, like, nothing would really be lost. But the actual, plot of the game is just, highly involved in idol culture in Japan. So, it's really cool to just see this. Because it's like, this was actually my first experience, like, introduction to, like, to idol culture at all. So it was really nice to like be introduced to like Japanese idol culture through this game. And it has some really great songs in there too, because I mean, it's obviously got to have like some really good like J-pop and songs like that. So like it's like real, the music's like a standout spot for the game. I mean, it better be for a game all based around Japanese idol culture. So that's nice. I mean, Japanese idol culture has kind of popped off lately with Okishuno or whatever it is. Oh, I have the book right here, the manga. Oshinoko, Oshi no Ko. This manga and anime. It popped off recently with that. But yeah, this game is very involved in like idol culture in Japan, so that's nice. And that's kind of like the main plot is like just following like all these different characters that are all like have like a career in like something related to like idol culture in Japan. You've got an actor, you've got an actual like idol, you've got like multiple idols. You've got like Kira and then Tsubasa, I think is her name. I'm trying to remember character names. It's been 3 years. Give me a break. Since I've probably even last thought of this game, because not that many people talk about this game either. But yeah. Wait, what's her name? Is it Tsubasa or is that our name? Is that the main character name? No. Oi. Yeah, Tsubasa. Tsubasa is like, the like, kind of like the main character, to be honest, because it's more so a story about her, and you're just there supporting her. But, honestly, yeah, it's just kind of like that. You just end up, the main plot is like, the Mirages are stealing, like, Proforma or whatever. I'm trying to remember. And then, like, you and your friend Tsubasa get dragged into, like, the Mirage world or whatever they call it. And then you have to go through dungeons and stop the Mirages with your own Mirages using the, like, power of, like, Fire Emblem characters to help you go through it and stuff. And that's kind of like, shoot, what's the, like, phrase? Abridged version of like the story. I don't know if abridged was like, anyway. That's kind of like the abridged version of the like game story. I played through chapter 1 and 2. Chapter 1 is definitely like the slowest chapter, and it picks up after chapter 1. With chapter 2 actually being is very interesting, and I've heard the game gets even better after chapter 2. So chapter 1 is the weakest chapter, but what are you going to do about that? Chapter 1 in JRPGs tend to be a little slower, so. But game's really good. Really did like all the characters. The big problem I have with the game is that there is no dub. It is completely, it's just a sub. There is no dub, which kind of sucks. This was back when Nintendo didn't really have much to do with the game. It was mostly just Atlas. And this was back when Atlas was really not wanting to do dubs. Like, at all. Because, yeah, that was Atlas back in the day. They just didn't want to do dubs, and, like, even, like, Persona 5 Royal, like, came out, like, how many years after, like a year or two after it came out in Japan, right? Like, I think it came out a year after, almost a year after. Persona 5 Royal. Now we're going back to Persona 5 Royal. But, can I get the Wikipedia page? I want Royal. Here we go. Japan, October 31st, 2019. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. It's like October's 10, 11, 12. January, February, March. It came out almost 5 months after Japan got it. So almost half a year before Japan, after Japan. So, like, they took their time with the dub, which, I mean, I'm glad that they did, because the dub is really great. But, yeah, Atlas was not willing to do dubs during this era. I mean, Persona Q2 got no dub as well, which sucked. But what are you going to do about it? But, yeah. Now I've talked about the story, let's talk a little bit about the gameplay. Most people would think about maybe how would the game play when it's like SMT cross Fire Emblem, because, like, how do you do that? You got the tactics of Fire Emblem, and then the turn-based, like, RPG of SMT. Well, this, again, being mostly developed by Atlas, and with Nintendo having mostly zero input on it. Sorry. With Nintendo mostly having zero input on it, we ended up getting, honestly, probably my favorite combat system in the entire, like, SMT franchise. Like, there's no other that I think is better. Because, I mean, I've played the SMT5. I've played a teeny bit of SMT4. I've played Soul Hackers 2. I've played Persona 5 and 4. And my favorite combat system is still Toyko Mirage Sessions. It's a very interesting, like combat system. The battle system, here it is. Like, I don't know what it's called, but, like, oh, right, session attacks, that's what they're called. Session attacks are very interesting. I do like this feature at the top here. Oh god, that's a very low quality image. Can we get a better image if I go to the Switch? Console game. Nope, don't close the eShop. Can I just see, like, in battle? Yeah, here we go. At the top, you can see here, the action bar. I wish that this was in something like Persona or Persona. I wish this was just in Persona. Having it part of the UI instead of having to, like, go down and press a button for it is nice. But it's just, like, part of the UI. It just tells you whose turn it is, which is really nice. And session attacks are really cool. And they're this game's form of, like, knockdowns. If you can think about that. Like, instead of knocking enemies down with weaknesses in Persona, and then doing, like, an all-out attack, in this game, instead of doing, like, knockdowns, you have to hit enemy weaknesses still, like as pretty much in any SMT game. Any SMT and SMT spin-off. When you do a weakness, you are able then setting up for session attacks. Session attacks work in a way that, like, when you hit a weakness, another character may have a session attack that can bounce off of it. And then basically, like, the main character here, he can, if you use an ice attack, you can have someone then have an ice attack. For example, he has ice to slash. So that means if someone uses an ice attack, hits an ice weakness, he then he has a session attack, so he'll do a slash every time someone does an ice attack. And then someone has, the other character, the redhead character, has an attack that does, like, I think it's, like, goes to like, slash to skewer, which is, or slash to, like, skewer or fire. So, like, it bounces off like that. So, like, and you can have, like, a ridiculous chain of session attacks set up. Like, let me go ahead and find one here. Like, let's see here. Go to YouTube and just search up, like, really long session attack. Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Most people look up the OST. Session attack. Session combo. Like, here we go. Here's one from Game Explain. Webpage. I think this is like one. Yeah, here we go. This is YouTube. Alright, don't worry. It'll play after the ad.
You know, they don't call me the deal daddy for overspending.
No one calls you that.
Yet.
Here we go. Ah, that old Game Explain logo. Here we go. Here we go. This is like the insane stuff you could do with, like, the session attacks. Here we go. Like, you can have... It just keeps going. Like, here it is, session 10. Like, you can have some ridiculous combos go in this game. It's obviously, like, late game where it doesn't matter anymore. And all of these are, like, really flashy, like, well done, like, animations. And this is, like, with quick session on. Like, look at this. It's still going. Like, magic to fire, fire to lunge, weapon to slash, sword to lunge, weapon to cyclone. Oh, it's still going. Like, the fact that this is still going on. Look at this. It's still going. They're like massive overkill. To 23. To 24. Yeah, it goes on for a really long time. Win the blizzard. Like, you can get, like, some ridiculous, like, session combos that, like, make it really fun. Everyone levels up, but, Yeah, that's like some of the crazy shit you can pull off in the game. Like, it's really funny. Like, but also really satisfying when you do pull it off. It may seem easy, but like the game obviously balances it out so you don't like have all these session attacks at the start of the game. More so you get them by the end of the game. You can pull off these like 27 session combos. But like it's still ridiculous. Like it honestly is just kind of like, yeah, ridiculous about like how you could just like stack those like sessions, but like the gameplay is still actually can the combat can get kind of difficult if you don't know enemy weaknesses. I mean, it's just pretty much like the whole SMT system of like once you know enemy weaknesses, the enemies are pretty easy to kill. But watch your MP and don't run out of MP. That's pretty much all you gotta do is just don't run out of MP. Pay attention to your MP meter, and you should be fine. But that's basically like the gist of the combat. Is it's very similar to like just SMT combat in general. They're called idle spears instead of mirage areas. But yeah. That's basically like how the that's basically the gist of the gameplay is like you build off these session attacks by hitting weaknesses, and then you can do like some insane like session combos. But yeah, that's like the main battle system. Let's see here. Friendly Mirages. Battles are triggered when an enemy touches the party. The player can attack Mirage on the field, stun, allowing them to perform preemptive attack or avoid battle. Turn-based combat system performs attacking, casting spells. The player consists of 3 main characters, which, except main character, can be swapped out both inside and outside of battle. Similar to Fire Emblem and Shimigami Tensei's battle system, party members and enemies each have strengths and weaknesses against certain type of physical attacks, such as swords, arrows, and elemental attacks, such as fire and ice. The affinities of each party member change depending on the weapon they have equipped. That's probably the most interesting thing about the battle system is the massive amount of just like what is it? Not the massive amount of like types of damage you can deal. Like there are I think we can go look at them over here, I think. But like there's a lot of like I think if you pause it like right before they attack. Yeah, like there's a lot. There are 4 different types of physical attacks, all from the Fire Emblem series. I think, what was it? In Persona 3, there were 3 types of physical attacks, but there's 4 in Toyko Mirage Sessions. Of course, you still have the fire, the blizzard, the fire, the icy, electric, the wind, the bless/holy, and then the curse. All that's like standard SMT like type weaknesses. SMT you would normally have, I believe, just like physical or something. Then you also have stuff like Almighty and stuff. Like, what were the Persona 3 type weaknesses? Persona 3 types. Nope, I can't spell types of damage. You had strike, slash, and pierce. Okay, so there were 3. Let's see. Here we go. Offensive attacks are divided into 3 physical types: strike, slash, and pierce, and 6 elements: fire, ice, electricity, wind, light, and dark. Wait, I don't... Oh, right. I don't think you attack with guns at all in Persona 3, even though they're kind of, like, important to, like, how they activate the personas, which is kind of funny. But, yeah, there were 3 types of physical, attacks in Persona 3. And Toyko Mirage Sessions increases that to, like, 4. But yeah, you also have fire, ice, electricity, wind, light, and dark. Persona 5 has fire, ice, electricity, wind, light, bless, and curse. They changed the names of light and dark for some reason. And in Persona 5, you have physical and gun damage, so there's only 2 types of physical attacks. So, it's a little less than, Persona 3's, but, there's still the, 6 elements. But in Persona 5, you have, bless and curse damage that, you know, that can deal actual damage instead of just being the insta-kill moves. Persona 4 has, only 1 type of physical attack, being just physical, and the 6 elements. So there's the least amount of damage types in, there's just the least amount of damage types in, Persona 4, with only being 1 physical type of damage and being the 6 normal. You only get 7 types, while in, Persona 3 you get 9, Persona 5 you get 8, and Toyko Mirage Sessions you get 10. 4 physical and 6 elements. Which is, like, kind of a lot, not gonna lie. Yeah, you get the 6, and then you get the 4. So that's 10 types of damage you can deal to, like, each enemy. So that's a lot of types. The most that I know of in any SMT game. So there's a lot to think about with the combat, because, yeah, you've got, like, the 4 physical and then the 6 magic. So there's a lot to think about. Excuse me. But yeah, Toyko Mirage Sessions, I really do like the, session attacks. Combination attacks that can be triggered by targeting enemies. Speaking of another part of the skill linking to that type of attack, automatically perform a pursuit attack, which will then trigger another attack, and so on. Yeah. By building up a special meter through attacks, players can earn SP, which can be used to trigger performance attacks, which can be earned through Unity and completing side stories. These are also called duo attacks, which are performed by a partner's Mirage. Dual attacks, on the other, can be triggered during a session attack to extend the combo at random times. Additionally, the party members can learn ad-lib performances, which they randomly activate while performing certain skills, along with items and money earned from battles. Winning battles earns experience, which increases party's level and allows them to learn skills from performing well in battles, such as achieving quick victories or successful session attacks. Increase the party members' stage levels, which unlocks Performa and Radiant skills and opens up new side stories. The game ends, sending the player back to the title screen of all play. Yeah. So you also have, like, a different, like, you have a, depending on just, like, how quickly you go through the battle, or even just, like, how big your, session attacks are, you increase your, stage level, which, unlocks, different abilities and such from just leveling up. So. Oh god, I'm yawning. Sorry about that, but yeah, there's a lot to do with this game, and it just gets thrown to the side a lot because of the fact that it just so happens to be like because people want it to be something it isn't, and people originally wanted to be, like, they want it to be, they wanted it to be SMT Crossfire Emblem, but it's not. And and people should like it should be appreciated for what it is, and that's just a fun like RPG about like idol culture in Japan. And the neat thing is about this game is that like it's not even that long of like a JRPG. It can be beaten in like 30 to 40 hours. So like it's on the shorter end of most Atlas made RPGs. So like honestly, like it's a fair pickup because like it's not that long of an RPG either compared to others like Persona 5 and SMT 5. Like all those games can run you like a lot of hours, but this game's on the shorter side, which is nice. The music is really well done. The music is like really good. There's a lot of great songs in this game. I might actually pick up the like soundtrack for this. The release. Yep. People definitely didn't like that. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. I mentioned it earlier, but it's part of the localization and the big word that everyone is so afraid of: censorship. The censorship in this game, there's a lot. There's a lot of people talk about it, but there's not that much in the game, to be honest. There was one part where I knew just by like playing through the game that it didn't make sense, and I'm pretty sure it had something to do with censorship. And that's with chapter 2 where the censorship where let's see where Tsubasa and is like afraid of like doing modeling as an idol, but like it turns out she's like, let me just show you what I'm talking about, cuz like Toyko Mirage Sessions like Tsubasa, I think it's Tsubasa. Like where's that like outfit of hers? Chapter 2. Yep. Let's see here. Where's that outfit? Oh yeah, that's like the original outfit. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Where is it? Okay, I guess this is the best. Yeah, here it is. Okay. This is probably one of the more weird changes. Obviously she's afraid of modeling and stuff because and it's like some kind of like type of modeling in Japan, and like I get it, like yeah, for idols and stuff apparently they like are supposed to like model swimsuits and stuff, and it doesn't make that much sense that she would be afraid of just dressing up like this to model, and it's just kind of like absurd and just silly. This makes a lot more sense, and this is like originally what she was supposed. I mean, obviously, yes, it's a lot more realistic to be afraid of like, you know, showing everything out there and modeling. Like, definitely, like, yeah, it's a lot because, like, you know, you're showing everything out there. Like, this kind of undermines like the like whole like plot where she like it just kind of like undermines it. So like this is kind of a weird localization change. Like there's a lot more censorship in here. This is like what they were originally supposed to be wearing, but they give all the characters like silly outfits. instead. That doesn't make the most sense. But yeah. I don't even know what the hell that is. So yeah, there's a lot of censorship changes in this game. They're not, that's probably the most important one. The rest are minor, to be honest. Nintendo was very hands-on in the localization. This placed the game in the context with the majority of Nintendo titles localized for the West, where Nintendo's attitude was described as very hands-on. In addition to many people performing overseas songs in the original languages, the Western version of the game features Japanese audio with subtitles rather than English sub. Finding English actors to perform the game's song will also lengthen the estimated... Yeah. Localization was handled by Atlas staff rather than Nintendo's internal localization division, Nintendo Treehouse. Atlas was chosen over Nintendo due to fan expectation of the type of localization common to Atlas published titles and wished to make the game appeal long-term fans of the company's work. Some aspects of the game were changed for its Western release. These changes include the removal or alteration of several revealing costumes, that we just talked about, removal of visual and dialogue references to gravure modeling, which is like yeah, they display like more revealing clothing, and changes to the ages of certain characters. Well, that makes sense. I approve of that. That should be changed. Because there was a whole thing about Fire Emblem Engage, about people upset about the fact that they changed, like, the ending, like, the paired ending with Anna, where, like, you were supposed to, like, marry her in Japanese, but, like, rightfully they changed it for the Western audiences because she's, like, 12, for Christ's sake. So, honestly, they do need to change that, because apparently in Japan, like, officers and, like, it's just very common to, like, ignore, like, ages of consent for, like, characters, like, 15 and over, even though, like, age of consent is, like, 18. It often goes ignored, which sucks, and it's just wrong. Multiple sections of dialogue were re-recorded to match these changes. I didn't know that. Huh. Someone's making, like, a fan-made. The game's hot spring scenario and associated costumes also went unreleased. The removed outfits were placed with Western exclusive outfits, yes. Changes of the content were attributed to Nintendo's varying content requirements and regulations for the regions the games were released in. Staff later defended these changes necessary adjustment based on the regions they would be releasing the game in, while working on keeping the core identity intact. Game's Western release staff were divided on the issue, positive about the game's adaptation for Western, initially disappointed with the alters, were seeing positive responses from the game's Western fans. Following the game's Western release, fan-developed patch was released that reverted all localization changes ranging from cosmetic to script changes. Except all. Apparently, wow, I didn't even know this. Probably back, change the menu icons back to the original names and descriptions. See, like, I don't know why you need to do that. Because now putting them in the bikinis makes it worse. Don't like that. Did not need to know that their original age in the game was 17, because 18, it's gross. Verted costumes, back to bikinis. Completely redid Chapter 2 and a few other small files to return references to grave modeling that also uses the original voice files. Fixed any map changes relating to pictures and dungeons that were changed. Swapped English files for Japanese for re-translate. Healing points no longer come in envelopes. Changed profiles to reflect the character's real ages. Nope. reverted any censored pre-rendered cutscene files. Now, yeah. Someone made a fan-made thing, like, yeah. So, now the localization of the Toyko Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore. Oh wow, I didn't know a live concert organized by the, like, perform their songs in front of a large audience, but oh wow. I didn't know that they were originally supposed to, like, perform the songs live. It's actually neat. They added some Persona 5, Fire Emblem Three Houses, and Etron Odyssey, like, costumes, which was neat. New story content and additional party members with new music was cool. Now, this is a bit more unexcusable for what Nintendo did. Nintendo were aiming for simultaneous worldwide release, decided to use the Western version as their base. Nintendo later issued a formal apology and offered pre-order cancellation options to Japanese buyers for failing to provide information regarding the changes ahead of time. This was actually kind of unforgivable. No, stop. They should have just straight up said before the game was released in Japan that it would be using the Western censored version of the game. So that was not a good thing. And hell, even the Japanese official website, I don't know if that's still up. Oh no, it's still up. I'm surprised it's still up. And yeah, the game was changed to Atlas Cross Fire Emblem instead of just SMT. But yeah, they were using like Wii U footage. So, oops. For the Western version as a base on October 17th. So like, yeah, for like that I don't think was a good idea. They should have just told Japanese players that the game was that the game from the start that the game was going to be based off the localized version instead of the original version. Like, I get the changes that were made. They were you know, like, needed, but like maybe you should have told Japan that these localization changes were going to be in the Japanese version. And it ended up, this whole controversy probably ended up what caused the, like, launch of the game in Japan to do worse than the Wii U version, which is honestly impressive. That, like, the Wii U version of the game had a stronger launch in Japan than the fucking Switch version. That's impressive. That there is honestly impressive. But what are you going to do about that? That's honestly just kind of impressive. That happened because of this controversy, but yeah, they offered pre-order cancels because of that mistake. So, yeah. Now, what it means by the censored pre-rendered cutscene files, probably the biggest localization change that I've yet to mention is probably the whole music. There's a music video pre-rendered cutscene in the game where they just straight up remove, like, actual autonomy from Tsubasa. Because, like, apparently, like, they thought it would have been too extreme for, like, Western audiences, but they removed actual autonomy, which I think is silly. Like, all of these are, like, minor, like, localization changes that don't ruin the, like, game. But this one is just laughable. They removed, like, actual, like, bone lines from, Tsubasa's crotch to, the whole meme is that, like, oh no, they removed her vagina bones. Like, yes, haha. It's just so stupid that, like, they did that. Like, in the Western version, they actually did just remove the bone lines from, like, the actual pre-rendered cutscene, so, like, because, like, apparently, like, women can't have bones down there, because that's too lewd. Like, so, like, they just removed it, and now she doesn't have, like, the bone lines. So it's just really weird, and I don't get it. It's just weird that they thought that that would be an issue. But Dead or Alive gave it a 90. IGN didn't rate the Switch version. Really? A lot of big named ones didn't do the Switch version. I mean, to be fair, not much had changed in the Switch version. Oh yeah, here we go. This is 18,000 copy units sold in the first week. 23,000 units sold in Japan. Oops. But, honestly, like, it's honestly a great game that, like, I think more people should play. Like, it's a great game. More people should play it. Oh, nope, I dropped my toy I was playing with, but, more people should play it. It's a great game. My phone's telling me to go to bed. It's a great game. Definitely you should play it a lot more. If you're watching this, give it out a try if you wanted to try out, like, an obscure Atlas RPG. It's fun. The music's really good and probably, like, one of the best parts of the game. Like, you know what? Let's see here. Oh, nope, sticky keys. Let me see here. Toyko Mirage Sessions. Actually, let me go back to the other webpage here. Toyko Mirage Sessions, music. What the hell is this song called? Actually, I would love to buy, like, the actual, like, soundtrack of it, because that looks cool. Is it this one? Nope. Where's that one song? Is it the Labyrinth? Also, it's really loud here, so let's see if I can turn it down some. The Labyrinth. The Labyrinth, I think, is what the one I like is called. I'm gonna play this real quick. Yeah, this is a song.
decay.
There's so many. This music in this game is really good. Like, that's just one song. I'm gonna leave you with that. For that, um, damn. I forgot how good that song is. Holy shit. Also, the game's music is on iTunes? What? Like, what? Like, yeah, like, I didn't know that this game's music was on iTunes. It's probably only available in friggin' iTunes Japan, if I think about it. Because I don't think it's gonna be available over here. Let's see. Let's see if what Reddit says. If I just go to Toyko Mirage Sessions, if I just search it on like iTunes real quick, I think I got I have the iTunes app on my PC because that's how I add all the physical soundtracks I have. I would like to grab physical of it, but if it's on iTunes, I just might buy it myself. Hold on. Where's my phone actually? Oh, right in front of my face. I gotta re-log in. Nope, that's not the password. What? I think that's the password. Should be. Yeah, okay, good. Good, 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 good. Yeah, actually download that. Let's see, if I go to a store, how do I go to the store on this? Where is the store on this? Actually, let's switch to camera here. How do I get to the store? Stare, there it is. Probably be easier to find it on my phone, to be completely honest with you. Wait, do they have it in English here? No. That'd be... It'll be easier to find it on my phone. Just go to the dang iTunes store on my phone, because I don't know what it is. Searching for stuff on the store, on the actual iTunes app is weird. See what it says. What do we got here? There's covers of the songs on iTunes. I don't think it's available in the West. What if I search the actual Japanese name here? I don't think it's gonna say. Oh, hold on. Came up. No. Let's search the Japanese name. I highly doubt it will be available. It's on the Japanese iTunes, and I really don't like how, like, iTunes is still region locked. For Christ's sake. Might be available on Spotify. Search the, like, Japanese name on the iTunes store real quick. Where is the... there it is. I was trying to find the iTunes thing. Watch it be region locked. No, it's not. It is not region locked, I don't think. Oh my goodness, it is not region locked. Actually, let me... I don't know how to show this. Hold on. I'm figuring something out. Okay. Hold on. Think I can do like some like, hold on, I'm trying to, give me 1 second to do this. And this should be like under everything. Okay, good enough. Yeah, it's available on the, I'm gonna add to the wish list. It's just straight up available on the, like, all regions of the iTunes store, which is insane. Again, this rarely happens. This, like, launched the game the day launched. Like, huh. I'm gonna, like, copy the link to this and just, like, show people, like, huh. Just a huh. I'm gonna go ahead and just say it. Yeah, it's just like Toyko Mirage Sessions where's sharp? FE. Nope. FE. Encores. Soundtrack is on iTunes in the US region under the how do you spell Japanese name? Spelled that wrong. How do you spell Japanese? Alexa, spell Japanese. Or not. Alexa, spell Japanese. Alexa! Hold on, my Alexa. Alexa, spell Japanese. Alexa, you there? No, my Alexa's broken. Hey, Siri. Or all my voice bullshit's broken. Hey, Siri. Spell Japanese.
Japanese. Japanese.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My Alexa's broken. I don't know why. Anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah, it's just here. Huh. Oh yeah, reincarnation's like the big one from the game. What number was the track on? New tab. What was that one? Number 7? Where is it? Number 7? Yeah. So yeah, it's just all here, like... Huh. Huh. It really is just, like, all here. On iTunes. Neat. That's just weird. Like, I don't know what else to say about that. That's just weird. Like, it's just like a huh moment. Just a huh moment. Well, you also saw my Discord. Well, let's go back to webpage. Thank you. Got to saw my Discord a bit, but, you know, I'm part of the Dokapon Kingdom Discord. So check that out if you want to play Dokapon. So yeah. He got to saw my Discord for a bit. Thank God for streamer mode on Discord. Yeah, it didn't show anything, yeah, just except for all the servers I'm in. I also have my own server, which I think is in the description. Don't quote me on that, because I can't remember if I remembered to put it in the description. Nope, I do not have it in the description. Well, that sucks. But, yeah, like... Interesting that the, like... Huh. I just didn't think it would be available in all regions. It's under, like, the Japanese name and everything. Huh. Who knew? But, yeah, I guess I'm gonna end it there. Actually, before I end it there, I'm gonna show off all the let's switch back to camera on OBS here. OBS. Where's camera? Here we go. Before we end it, let's showcase some of the new soundtracks I've got, such as the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild soundtrack. New soundtrack, really cool. It came in the mail today. Oh no, it cracked. Damn. The Final Fantasy VII Advent Children soundtrack. That is cracked because when my controller dropped, it landed right on it, so that sucks. The disc, I think, is alright. Yeah, the disc and everything's alright. The case is cracked, which sucks, but, like, that's manageable, I guess. Damn, it cracked it pretty good. 2 spots. Sucks. And the Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition soundtrack, which is a really cool one. All these games have great soundtracks. Well, Breath of the Wild, I like the soundtrack more than others. Most people think the soundtrack's okay. I do like the soundtrack. There's a lot of good songs in there that are just kind of relaxing to listen to. Not so much that they're, like, the most memorable or, like, even, like, one of the best soundtracks in the game and, like, out of gaming. It's just, I like it personally. And so, I got those new soundtracks, and, I might buy the Toyko Mirage Sessions soundtrack on iTunes, because they're actually kind of like, it's actually a really great soundtrack. Now that I know it's available on iTunes, I'm actually gonna post that on Twitter, right now, actually, before I forget. Let's see here, Twitter, X, Biggie. Let's go to Twitter. Let's see, post, copy, space, Control V. Neat. Alright, I posted that, and, yeah. It's just odd. Weird thing you learn. But, yeah. Alright, I think that's gonna be it for tonight. I talked about an hour 45 minutes. Mostly about Toyko Mirage Sessions and Nintendo sales. I'll go ahead and create a whatchamacallit, a thumbnail and for tonight, and then yeah. Let's go with good night. But yeah, you guys have a great night. Enjoy the music by Nintend. Nintend. Enjoy the music by Nintend. Make some really good, cool remixes, including today's results. I've been using it for my end of stream. I've gotten his permission and everything. Great guy. But yeah, go check out his remixes. I think I have a link in the description as well, or, you know, yep, I do. I do have it. I did remember to credit people properly, including my profile picture, which I am getting a new one done very shortly, that you guys will probably enjoy. And with that, I'm gonna call it a night. Good night, everybody, and if you want, you can join me back here live next week sometime between, like, on Friday night, 11, sometimes around anytime, I guess, when I feel like it, anytime between, like, 9 and, like, 11 Eastern. And, as always, if you want to support me by donating, like, $1 or something, I have a PayPal link in the description if you ever feel inclined to. You don't have to, I just have it there if you really feel like it. Good night.